Welcome back to another episode with the Kraken here. Today, on the episode, I'm going to be doing some work here on the truck electronics. The first thing I'm doing here is, of course, I forgot to run some more cable, and this here is a hole for the push button that I'll be using to turn on a set of rope lights in the doorway there. So now I'm just going to go ahead and paint up this wood here. This is the utility closet and some storage. So I'm not too worried about it being like a very finished look on the inside, but nevertheless, I'm gonna go ahead and paint this over with 2 coats of this paint primer. Now, if you are going to paint your truck, especially plywood, with paint, you need to make sure you use a paint that has a sealer in it, because when you paint over something like a knot, the knot will actually still secrete some sap and will actually stain the paint. So you got to get something with a sealer in it. So right now I'm putting in a spacer so that way I can get the back of the batteries, because they have a cable that come out of the back, which is not the greatest design, but you know, it does it will allow like some airflow in the back there. And this is just a temporary bracing setup, so if I need to actually like drive the vehicle, I don't have to worry about the batteries falling over, which I will probably, well, I will be moving shortly after I get ready to finish up here. And hey, you know, look at that, you know, I gotta, you know, if I have the stomach, I might as well use it. So I'm just screwing in the Wi-Fi module for the grow watt. And now a lot of cable management here. Here I'm right now working on the cables for the shore power hookup, and I'm putting on these little crimp, so that way the wires are not going in their plane, and putting on wire lugs to this 4-gauge wire. Some of these are for the battery connectors, and some of them are for the alternator setup. So pretty simple to do, just follow the instructions. All right, so let's go ahead and hook up the shore power for the first time. Hopefully nothing blows up or catches on fire. All right. Okay, so let's open this up. I'm gonna make sure this is off, so that way there's no possibility of any kind of current running through this. Let's go ahead and make sure that's on. Here we go. Right. Okay. Here we go. I just heard a long beep inside. So let's go ahead and go inside and check it out. All right. So I finally have a quick test here of the electronics to make sure nothing catches on fire. So we have here the battery cutoff. These are the battery terminals. Here's the all-in-one. and it must be pretty cloudy outside right now. It's also kind of late in the day, so I'm only generating 120 watts. And this is the inverter outputting 120 volts of AC. Even though this is the shore power, so there's no actual AC hookup until I get the fuse box in, and the fuse box is actually going to be right in front of this on a door. So the door's actually going to open up here with the fuse box on it, and that way the grow watt will actually be behind that, and all the wires and everything. So it'll be just the fuse box in front, and if I need to do any maintenance, I'll just open it up and then get back here. So yeah, that's it. Next step is getting the DC to DC set up in here, because right now it's only hooked up on the solar panels, and then getting the 24 to 12 volt converter as well, so that way I can get that hooked up to the fuse box. Yeah, so it's probably another couple days of doing the wiring in here. I mean, I could probably do it in a day, but I'd rather not rush. You know, especially you know, if I'm dealing with like DC power, I don't have an issue running any kind of DC power. But when it comes to 120 house electricity, I'll mess around with that stuff. Take your time, especially if you're doing it yourself. You know, like I have a degree in not electronics, but engineering, and we do a lot of electronics. But yeah, I still don't like messing around with housing electronics. So take your time, and if you're not actually really confident, get a professional to do it. I mean, I know what I'm doing, but I like to take my time. So take your time. So I forgot to run another wire. Surprise, surprise. I need to run the what is it? The ignition cable for the DC to DC charger, and I need to remove. Well, I should remove the. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna run it from this side, just so it'll be easier. So that means I gotta run it. Okay, the camera cut off on me for low battery, even though it was at 40%. Okay, so as I was saying, I think I'm gonna run it through the driver's side, so that way I don't have to take off this entire. Like, I gotta move the batteries, and then I probably have to take this off to get to a couple of the screws that are back there, and then I gotta take this. It's too much of a pain. So I'm just gonna run the wire from this side. I think I'll just run it up across here through this, and then probably in between this, there's a tiny little gap in here. I'll probably just like stick it up in there, run it through this, and then fish it out through probably this hole or something. Or yeah, I won't be able to get it through. Well, I might be able to get it through the gap in the side here, like in this, through this gap. We'll see. But yeah, I gotta run the recognition cable. So yet another cable I forgot. There's so many wire. I think I have like 900 feet of wire in this truck, and that's like including all of the dual, you know, the dual 12 volt wires, you know, like this. So it's actually, you know, two wires together. So I mean, if you basically have to double most of the wire, because a lot of it's 12 volt, and then, you know, I got these the triple, so I got, like, you know, I got the ground wire in here. So yeah, I mean, it's probably like, if you went single stranded, it's probably close to 3, would it be no, not 3,000. It'd probably be like 2,200 feet of cable. So 2,200 feet. I mean, what's that in meters? Maybe like 800 meters, 850 meters of cable. Yeah. So. All right. Let me go. I gotta find a cable first. I don't think I have any more wire. Yeah. Today is Thursday, and normally I put out a video on Friday, so I might just like toss something together. Hopefully it's not horrible. Hopefully you still enjoy it. I'm making some headway here on the electronics. I just went through the user manual here to adjust the settings, because I have set up here, right, I have input on the right, so I'm getting 38 volts from the solar, but right now I'm pulling in 25 amps between both the AC and the photovoltaic cells. So yeah, and right now the batteries are 28.6 volts. They go up to, I think the max voltage for 100% is on these brands. It's 29.4 volts, but I have it set to cap out at 29.2 volts. So I'll get, you know, like 98% capacity on them. And yeah, I just wanted to hook up the shore power to make sure that everything works. I didn't hook it up yesterday because earlier when I was actually hooking this up, it was Wednesday. So I'm still getting over being sick, if you can tell by the voice. So let me run those wires, and I need to set up and hook up the DC to DC, the voltage up and voltage down, and then I can get to some of the other stuff, like getting the other bus bars and everything put in here. Okay, let me get to that.